Welcome, you lovely souls. Thank you for being present. This video is about how to alchemize the evil intentions of toxic feminine and masculine energy. And we live in a world where toxic feminine and toxic masculines have normalized toxic behavior so that they will not have to take accountability for the conflict, chaos, and confusion that they contribute to. You know, a lot of kind-hearted people have become victims of their reckless behavior, and there's been a lot of effort put into simply normalizing toxic behavior to the point, when you actually realize how much energy it takes to reject yourself, to because when you in a lot of toxic behavior, you have a lot of shame and guilt. And you're still not validating yourself. You're not giving yourself the space to emotionally feel how you feel, to be able to release the shame and guilt that you have. You're just sitting there stewing in self-hate. This is where you have to understand it's not that we don't have resources to break this cycle, because I'll be honest with you guys, I was taught self-hate at such a young age that for me to break out that cycle when I was in my double digits in my 20s, it was extremely tough. It was very easy for me to go back to a state of complacency and just giving in to what someone, desired, because it seemed as if when I would say, hey, I don't feel comfortable doing such and such, and they would mostly manipulate me, it was much easier for me to give into it, being that's what I had been surrounded by. So I'll be honest, I have experienced a lot of grief setting healthy boundaries with individuals who are quite toxic in nature. However, when you realize that whether you set boundaries or don't set boundaries, toxic feminine and toxic masculine energy is going to continue to try to disturb your peace and harmony, because their idea of peace and harmony is disrupting others' peace and harmony. This is how deep the codependency goes. This is how deep the unprocessed grief goes. Sitting still scares them. They're afraid of their own thoughts. They're afraid that they're going to be judged harshly if they, have certain mannerisms. They're not taking the time to understand that they're simply human and that mistakes are normal. And that learning is, not always going to be easy. It's like they're trying to, read from a golden book of rules that this is what's right and this is what's wrong. And it's outdated at this point. And also, it's not that not only that it's outdated, it's incorrect. So it's like, let's be honest, when you're literally trying to unlearn toxic shit and you're trying to learn healthy ways of doing things, and you'll discover there's a variety of ways to learn healthy new habits, you will come up against a lot of interesting things. So it's a choice for a toxic feminine and a toxic masculine to remain in this energy. All right? And the more aware that they become of how toxic they are, if they choose to sit and stew in their own energy at this toxic level, the more evil their intentions get. So we're going to learn how to alchemize the evil intentions of toxic feminine and toxic masculine energy. There's no reason to fear, you know, this energy we're going to be discussing. It's just simply, hey, how can I make that work for me? All right? So we're going to do some live shuffling, and I hope that you guys enjoy this message. By the way, I'm going to put my CashApp information if you like to make a donation for this message. If you feel led to make a donation, please do so. And if you don't feel led to, it's all good. All right, we're blessed with the Seven of Hearts in red, the Four of Clubs, and we also have the Three of Hearts and the Jack of Hearts, showing the Ace of Diamonds. So what this is showing me is that toxic masculine and toxic feminine energy, they're not able to achieve stability on their own. So this is why they like to appear extremely friendly, overly open, with no emotional boundaries with individuals, because they feel that this will show that they're good-hearted people, they're nice people. They like to say, nice people are open and we share. But literally, why are you trying to give your shit away if you don't even have enough for yourself? Okay? This is like a group of individuals who are all in debt, and they don't know how to get out of it, and they don't want others to know that they're in debt. So they like to, appear to be what they feel a good friend will be perceived as, in public. They like to appear extremely young-minded, but this is just coming off as immaturity. Also that they can have a roof over their head. Also that they can, have a steady source of income. They don't take into consideration how, the evil intention of appearing to be someone of having your best interest can negatively impact generations. All they see is in that moment, I need a roof over my head. And now to maintain this roof over my head, I need to have consistent income. And the ways that they go about achieving this is not based in reality. It's based from a wounded inner child state of mind. Because there's a lot of fear connected to healing their mother and father wounds, all right? We're going to get one more message and we're going to call it a day. All right. Now, what's coming up here is that, individuals in adulthood age who happen to have unhealed inner child wounds, and they fear retaliation from like energies of an abusive parental figure, well, their efforts to hide from this happening in their adult life makes them to covertly repeat these cycles. They feel that if they harm another, just as, they were harmed, they'll be able to attract emotional support, who will be able to say, hey, I understand you. However, they have to become their own conscious parents. We're not here to baby up grown-ass adults when there's all these resources on how to experience stability while you are going through large amounts of anxiety. And these individuals are in a very immature state, and they are, they're utilizing things that they feel can get them quick results, not understanding that the amount of trauma that they have experienced is so great, it's going to take time. These individuals are not being patient with themselves, okay? So you're being advised to continue having strong boundaries, especially when it comes to your home. Anything that you would not, feel comfortable having in your home, think about things that are not in material form. That's the things that you focus on, because these individuals are coming with nothing but distractions. Because this is how they are able to, this is their idea of hope, a distraction. However, they also like to use the art of irritation to the point where you will be annoyed with them to the point where you have anxiety just thinking about them. Okay, this is their way of getting back at the people who harmed them from their childhood. And this type of behavior of trying to harm another externally and trying to act as if, I'm a mature adult doing mature things, but they're doing a lot of covert shit in the background that they hope they don't get caught. And this is why they have a lot of anxiety to begin with. How can we alchemize all of this information? You make sure you keep them boundaries. They have conditioned their minds, bodies, and souls to basically continue doing toxic shit. And the more it gets called out, the more covert they try to become. They would like to do it in a place where they can recklessly do it and no one's going to say anything about it. No ifs, ands, or buts. They'll just sit there and let them go do some reckless shit. And they're like, look what I can do. This is the type of energy they're hoping to foster by trying to cause you anxiety, by utilizing irritation, by trying to get under your skin. They know that they're not wanted around. They know that they are a burden. Okay? And so they really would just simply like to have you understand where they're at. Now, what they're not thinking long term is if you have two stressed out people together and you're not able to maintain stability, this can, lead to homelessness. Okay? And homelessness is no joke. If you're a grown-ass person and you're choosing to not be responsible, and you want to include someone else in that recklessness, well, thank them for teaching you how to develop new skill sets. Because literally, all this stupidity that they're doing, there's no reason to remain irritated at them. They're literally showing everyone why you need to stay mature. Because when you are, covertly doing shit behind the scenes so that another one will suffer because you cannot independently come up with creative solutions to difficulties. The individuals I'm also picking up on, they're not self-aware, and they try to mirror other personalities. When you are operating from this energy, this makes it so that any home situation that they try to create, it will always be nothing but anxiety. So I guess, how can you alchemize this? Get to know your anxieties. Don't be afraid of your anxiety. Get to understand your anxiety, because these people will try to narrow in on it and use it and abuse it and exploit it. And the fact is, if they're not even brave enough to explore their own anxieties, you should know your own anxieties, okay? If you're able to explore your own anxieties, this is a sign of strength. These individuals aren't. That's why it's easy to, trigger them. And this is where they make a lot of mistakes. They can get caught in putting out wrong information, showing who they are, and then trying to backtrack to the public and say, I'm sorry, I just had enough time. This is, and also you can alchemize this energy by just simply being honest. Hey, I simply don't care for you. Either way, they're going to be triggered. And any attempts to defamate your character, it's not gonna really work at this point, because you know yourself and they don't. And best believe, after they defamate your character, they're going to try to be emulating you, okay? So without further ado, we're going to cleanse the energy. And if you feel led to donate to my Cash App, don't be shy. All right? All amounts are welcome. Have a wonderful day.